keep waiting, just keep waiting, just keep waiting, waiting, waiting. So it doesn't cut me off. La di da di da da da. La di da di da di da. Okay, anyway. Hello everyone and welcome back to another Dolly video. Woo. Yes, in today's video, as you saw by the title and or the cover photo, today's video is going to be about how to repair your chatty family dolls. And if you saw my video earlier, then you know that these two are the ones that I just received for Christmas today. And yeah, this one does not have a string, so I'll be showing you how to restring your dolls. And then with this one, I'll be showing you how to put a new O-ring on and clean and all that. I know I have some pull rings around here somewhere. I'm just not entirely sure where at the moment. So, for now, we'll just have to use her existing pull ring. So yeah, let's get started. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Don't forget to comment, rate, like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification wherever it may be so you know when I go live with more Dolly videos. And yeah, so let's just jump right into it. Upon taking their outfits off, I saw that this one here had already been cracked open, so all her seams are split, and she is fully opened, so I'm guessing either she cracked somewhere along the years in her lifetime, or she was attempted to be repaired. I did open her up and examine her, and it's not pretty inside. I'm not entirely sure if this one is going to be able to talk, but we will find out. So yeah, this is the brunette tiny chatty baby, the one that came with the tiny chatty brother outfit with the little booties. And these outfits will be getting washed in OxyClean, cold water, so hopefully they don't lose all their color. But yeah, this one here has a super soft, squishy face, so her head can just pop right off. So yeah, let's just jump right in. So the first thing you want to do when repairing your chatties is obviously remove her head. So this one, like I just mentioned, has a soft head. This one does not. If she has a hard head, you'll see how to remove the head when I start this one. You basically either need a heat gun or a hair dryer or, you know, something like that. But she has a soft head, so you can literally just bend this back like that, and that'll pop right off. Bam. No damage. And then after you get the head off, you're going to want to, like I said, this one, the seams were already popped. But if yours are not, you're going to want to pop the seams. So the way I do that is I'll start with like the shoulder seams, and I'll put her arms up like this, and then I'll kind of pull them out like that. See how that seam spreads out? That's how I pop the seams. And then I do the same with this seam down here. I'll just put her arm down, and then it'll just, see how it kind of spreads that? It'll pop all those seams. Just like that, and like that, and then you do the same thing with the legs, just kind of spread them apart. But yeah, so like I said, she was already cracked. So we're just gonna open her up, and after you get her seams split, all the mechanics are attached to her backside, so I just lean her back like this, and then I'll just kind of slowly work this up. And upon opening her up, this right here is the first thing I see. And you can see all that dirt right there along the record. That's actually not dirt. That is the grease that was on the end of her spring on her speaker, because I realized she was missing that. She has it now. But I realized she was missing that. The spring was up in here, and then the plastic plunger piece was down inside her leg. So yeah, after you get her open, you're just gonna remove these limbs and set them off somewhere to the side. And then you'll have this. This is what the inside of your chatty will look like. And then the biggest disappointment in this one was her speaker. And this right here is her speaker. And as you can see, her speaker is completely just, I don't know if it's savable, honestly. And I'm not entirely sure how these speakers get so messed up. Like I said, I don't know if she was maybe repaired at one point and the person didn't know what they were doing or what. But we're gonna try and we're gonna attempt to repair her anyway. And hopefully that this broken speaker doesn't cause too much of an issue. If it does, I'll try to super glue it back on. However, I'm not sure how well that will work because she has all kinds of cracks and stuff along her speaker, as you can see. And this whole side here is just coming right off, like it's so loose. But yeah, so that is her speaker. And then, excuse me. All right, so first I want to clean her record. And to do that, I need to loosen up the string a little bit on her clutch. So you actually have to remove this entire housing here, this black piece that goes around kind of everything. Her little governor speed control down in there, which is where the O-ring goes around. So what I do is I use a flathead screwdriver wherever mine has disappeared to. It's somewhere around here. But I don't know where. So I guess we'll just use, I typically use a flathead because it's easier to kind of pry it up. But for this, we'll just use normal Phillips. All right, so I'm just gonna kind of move all this stuff to the side here. Ignore my messy work area. I've been trying to just kind of pile stuff on it so the cat doesn't want to climb up here and get a hold of everything. All right, so like I said, you just want to pry this little housing off here. So what I do is I put this down here and then I kind of just give this a little bit of a push here. Actually, I start with loosening up the string a little bit, whoops, like that. And then I'll just kind of pry this off here gently, hopefully. Sometimes it's easier than others. Okay, so there goes that side right there, as you can see. And then I'm gonna do the other sides. This side here, this one right here, right down at the bottom, is usually the hardest to get. So I usually work on everything else first. But we're just gonna pry these off and hopefully they all come off in one piece. But if not, that is okay. Okay, that one came off, so this will be able to be held in without any kind of glue or tape. All right, this is where I need to loosen our string up a little bit and kind of work on these two up here, which are usually the hardest to do. Oh, and that right there is why. All right, let's try it from over here. Okay, there goes that one. Now I just gotta get this one. Okay, so those are loose. Now I just gotta get this one at the bottom here. And like I said, that one is usually the toughest to do because there's not a very good angle. Okay. All right, so now that all your little pins are loose, some of them may break away, some may stay. You know, if they all break away, that's fine. So now you just kind of maneuver this and just pop that right off. And out comes your governor or your speed control. And then I'm just gonna take this and unwind this a couple times, just so I know that when I clean the record, I'm going all the way down to the end. And really, when I clean the record, I don't put the governor back in. And this peg right here stayed in one piece, so I don't need any tape or anything to hold that in place. So now, you can see all that grease down in there at the end of the record. It's where the speaker got damaged and the plunger fell out of her speaker and was resting on this record. So whenever someone pulled the string and released it, it was just rubbing all that grease onto the record. And this girl here has a black record, so I'm going to be using the 91% isopropyl rubbing alcohol. And yeah, so let's get to that. And then I do have a little O-ring here that I'm going to be using. It is a little loosened up, but it'll work for testing purposes anyway. Okay, so you're going to need to clean the record, and for that you need your Q-tips and your rubbing alcohol. And you start with just taking your Q-tip and soaking it with your rubbing alcohol. I always I swish it around and let it sit in there for a couple seconds just to make sure it all gets soaked up in there. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna pull your string, and then you're gonna take your thumb and hold down the clutch, just like that. And then just take your Q-tip and run it along the record as if it were the needle. And just kind of let that go along there. And you can see all that dirt that just came off there. And you want to keep doing that until all of that stuff comes off. Basically until the Q-tip comes off clean with no dirt. And I guess there's a lot more grease on the record than I assumed. So you'll probably need a good couple of Q-tips for this. For any record cleaning, honestly. And then, yeah, just start at the beginning. Just kind of work your way down. Just like so. And you can see all that grease on there. I know it's kind of hard to see, but that's all grease from the end of the record. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of, I'm just gonna focus on the end of this record here for a minute. And you can see all that grease on there. Nasty, nasty grease. So you're really just gonna keep repeating that process until your Q-tip comes off clean and you can reuse it multiple times instead of just using it once or twice. And looks like I got all the grease off of there. So now I'm just gonna do a normal cleaning with the record. And there's still some black deteriorated O-ring coming off of there. So I'm just gonna keep cleaning. Just until that comes off nice and clean. And I'm also gonna get all this old nasty grease off the top of this needle here. And I can see a lot of dirt on this needle. do. And we're just gonna keep repeating this process until the record comes off completely clean. And for a little test, see how she sounds. So if anyone didn't understand what that was her little laugh that she does. And then we'll do it one more time. So that was Go Bye Bye. And she is actually very, very, very loud. So she sounds really, really good. So let's hope that even with her little broken, nasty looking speaker, she still sounds pretty good. Because her record is in good shape. It doesn't look too scratched or anything. See all that grease on there? And then you take the other side that's dry and just dry the record. And it's starting to become less and less dirt. And you can see that nice reflection in there. You can see my my ring light almost perfectly. Almost perfectly. You can see all those little LEDs in there. Nice, shiny record, which is exactly what you want. And then after we do this, we're gonna go through and we're gonna grease everything, put new grease all over her. Well, not all over her, but on her little pieces here that turn and make contact with the plastic. Very, very nice. And now these Q-tips are coming off almost clean, which is exactly what you want. All right. See, now you can see pretty much perfectly my O-ring or my ring light there in the reflection of her record. And the record is very nice and very shiny. So now we're going to remove this housing once more, and we're going to take her record out and we're going to grease the bottom and top little things here that turn and make contact with the plastic. And I have my grease right here. It's not the grease I usually use, but I'm not sure where my other grease is, so it will have to do for now. Alright, so when you take this record out, you want to be aware of this spring here, because this spring right here is what causes it to reel the string in. So you want to grab that with your index and your thumb, and then kind of grab the record and kind of just hold that spring in place like that. And then as you can see down in there, that's all her deteriorated O-ring that has fallen out. I will worry about getting that out later, just for this video, because I know not everyone can sit and stay for as long. Alright, so now there's a little bit of grease down down on the bottom of her record. And then we're just gonna stick that right back there in place. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put this O-ring on, and then we're gonna stick that down into place. Okay, so now our O-ring is on. Now we're gonna stick this back into place here, just like so, and we're gonna put that spring back on there. right where it goes. Okay. And now we're gonna take our, okay. Just because we don't have a million hands, we're gonna reel that in. And then we're gonna take our little speed control here, and we're gonna put a little grease down on the bottom of here. Obviously, you're gonna wanna clean it first. And boop. All right. Now we got some grease down on the bottom of there, just like so. And you don't want too entirely much, but just enough to keep it going for quite a while. All right, now we're gonna pop this housing off. And then however you choose to do it, I usually just use my nails, but I'll pop that O-ring out here. Use my nails and kind of grab that, pop that out, pull it out, kind of like that. And then you take your governor or your speed control, you just kind of pop that down in there, and then put your O-ring down around the bottom of that, if you can see. And then I'm gonna put a little grease on the top of here and here. Like that, and like that. All right, so now those two have the grease. And now, pop this on there. And just kind of put that housing back into place there. And then her string should retract as it should. And now, let's see how she sounds. So if you couldn't understand that, that was her saying hi. Doggy bow wow. She is really, really loud, and she sounds very, very good. I'm really disappointed that her speaker is as messed up as it is. Okay, she keeps repeating the same sentence. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my oil here, and I'm just gonna put a little down here in the middle of the clutch. Just a tiny, tiny, tiny itty bitty bit. Because you don't want it to go and get spread throughout her record. Because that would not be very good at all. All right. There's her little laugh. Her no-nos. Go bye-bye. And hi, Mama. So as you can see, she sounds very, very good. So now I'm just going to take her front half, and I'm just going to take this, and there's a lot of dried, cracked grease in there. So what I'm going to do is take a Q-tip. This isn't always the case, but for her it is, because she has a lot of dried grease up in there, and it's turned this yellow. So I just want to get all this nasty grease and dirt out of here and off the side here. Because this plunger is very, as you can see, it's very, very dirty. And we don't like that for our chatties. I may have to clean these with some Dawn dish soap, honestly. But for right now, what I'm going to do is just take a tiny, tiny, itty-bitty bit of grease. Like I said, I don't normally do this with my dolls, but sometimes it may or may not be necessary. And for her, it's necessary because that may be what's screwed up her speaker in the first place. Get all this dried grease off the front here. All right, and then put some new grease on here, like so. All right, now let's see, hopefully that will help. What do I do with her? Here it is. Okay, here's her spring and her plunger. Yeah, oh. Okay, let's try not to mess with that too much and see how she sounds. Hopefully she still sounds pretty good. However, no promises can be made. All right, fingers crossed. Well, that's not too bad. So her needle is basically skipping to the center of the record, which is very much no bueno. So I think I need to put a little oil down on there just to kind of loosen that up a little bit. Oop. Okay. Lift that up there. All right, and see how she does now. Oh, nope. There we go. Okay. Much better. Not much better. All right. Well, there's one done. Even though her speaker is completely and utterly destroyed, she still works as she should, and she sounds very good. So, for now, I'm just gonna remove the O-ring off here so I can use it on my other one. My other chatty that I need to repair. And so I'm just going to remove this here. Oops. All right. And let that loose a little bit. Take this, hold this by that, and just remove this O-ring here. All right, and there's our O-ring. Okay, now set that record back into place there. That and there, and that and there, and this back onto here, and housing back into place. All right. Okay. Now she is done And I'm just gonna set her over here with her limbs. And then now we can start on, oh, hello. We can start on the little blondie. And like I said, she has a very hard face. You can hear her spring rattling around in there because she doesn't have a string. So, I do not have a hairdryer present, but I do have a heat gun. And hopefully it doesn't melt her hair or anything. I'm hoping. I've never used a heat gun on these dolls, so I'm not entirely sure what's gonna happen. But I literally just got this for Christmas. But hopefully it doesn't do too much damage. But I'm basically just heating up her head, or her neck, right here. Oh, that was melting her hair. Doesn't take long. Ooh. Yeah, you can see that. So let's see if we can pull this off here. Ow. All right. No. Am I gonna need a towel? I think I might need a towel, which I don't have. Got the front of her face, but maybe I can get it from the back. Okay, there it goes, along with my glasses and my lens, wherever that went to. Okay. Oh, I should have brought a fan over here. It is incredibly hot. All right. Now, we have her head off. And luckily, no damage to her hair. But there she is. All right. Whew. Alrighty, so now we have her head off. And as I said before with the seams, you just kind of want to pull them apart like that. These ones already seem to be cracked. How about these down here? Nope, these ones are not cracked. All right, so just take these. Sometimes it takes a minute. Oh, there it goes. Takes a minute for them to pop. And then we do it this way. And this one looks like it may already be popped. Oh, there it goes. All right, and then her crotch seam is already split. All right, so now we just have to get this one up here, and usually how I do that is if all the other seams are cracked, just take this, pop this up, and gently jimmy it, kind of like that. All right. And thankfully, her speaker is in pristine condition. And it is not cracked in any way, shape, or form. All right, and her record looks pretty good too. Just looks very, very dusty in there. All right. And again, take her limbs and set them to the side. All right, so, see, here's her string. Let's see if we can unwind that. Pull that out of there. These are not the right pliers. What did I do with those pliers? Not here. Okay. Let's see if we can use these. All right. So there now is her string. Oh, it used to be her string. All right. See. Oh my God. She still has an O-ring. But it did not sound as if she was very loud. Not as loud as the other one anyway. So let's see if we can clean off this needle a little bit. Maybe that'll help. Oh, she needs new grease. All right, so again, what we have to do is pop this little housing off here. So let's see if we can get this off. So I won't be needing this O-ring because she surprisingly still has hers and it's not deteriorated down in there. I'm very surprised. It's not often you come across a chatty with a O-ring that it has not fully deteriorated. That is very, very, very good. All right, so let's pop this off. Okay, there goes those two. We just need this one here. Yep. See, usually this one here, that peg stays in place and it doesn't break off, which is always good because you always want at least one peg to hold everything in place so it doesn't have to come loose, so you don't have to like glue it in place or use a rubber band or anything like that. There's that one, and now we just need this one. Oh. All right, so there goes the housing, just like so. All right, and now we can just take this governor off because I'm sure this O-ring is pretty stretched out. Maybe not. All right, so now we're just gonna have to remove this whole record if we can. The spring doesn't want to come loose here. There it goes. All right, so the spring is also, it's still a very nice blue color as you can see. So it's not very rusted. This doll was kept in very good shape. Besides the haircuts. So there is no deteriorated O-ring or anything down there. And so now we just unwrap this here. And it looks like it goes through that way. You can see the little knot down in there. So we just need to grab that and pull that out. And then get some new string and put her in. And there goes her new string. Or I mean her old string. Oh, and her O-ring just came off right onto my hand. Alright, so I have my string here, and it is a premium braided Dacron 50-pound test. It's like a fishing line. but we're just going to be using this here. And with me, I always like to use a little extra string just in case this string breaks at some point and I have to, it just saves me the time of restringing her again. So this way I don't have to restring her again. I can just use the string that's already on here and just unwrap it a few times. And then you're good to go. All right, put a little knot at the end there. Tighten that up. And cut off the tail here. And then just thread it through the little eye hole. Depending on where it is, sometimes it's down in there. You can see it right down in there. Or sometimes it'll come through the top. But this one here goes down through the inside. So hopefully, if it will cooperate here. Maybe not. Sometimes the string does not like to go through here. Sometimes I gotta give it a little push. Just like so. All right. Then there's all her new string on there. And then you're gonna wanna wrap it counterclockwise because you pull it, when you pull it, if you wrap it counterclockwise, when you pull it, it's gonna wrap that spring in, which is exactly what you want. So you're gonna wanna wrap it counterclockwise. Okay. And now just gonna let that loose like that. And then now, again, we're just gonna put a little grease down on here. And since that O-ring came off so easily, I'm just gonna throw this one on there. Just so I know it's not gonna be too fast and or too slow. So just take a little grease and just put it down on the bottom of there. Just like so. All right, and now what you're gonna do is while you have it out, you're gonna take your string and you're gonna pull it. So then it's pulling that spring in there. And then you're gonna put this down in here. And then put your spring back into place there. And then now we can put the housing back on and clean our record. Just gonna pull that tight. And now we're just gonna put this housing back on and then thread the string through the little eye holes. All right, so there's one going through the needle here, and then there's one going through here, and then there's one going through the back. So we're just gonna put that through there. Thread it through the needle here, if it will let me. Okay, there's through the needle, just like so. See it going through the needle there, and then you're gonna thread it through this one up here through the bottom. Again, if it will let me. Sometimes these are very picky and they don't let you thread them. And then now it's threaded through there, and then now out the back. Just like so. And then now you have your new string for your tiny chatty. want to pull that a few times. Let that grease work its way around. See, there's no more grinding sounds. And then now the same thing with what we did with the previous chatty, we're going to do with this one. And again, she has the black record, so we're going to be using the 91% isopropyl. And once again, we're just going to be cleaning this record until these Q-tips come off clean. All right, get your Q-tip wet, pull your string, and let the Q-tip run along the record as if it were the needle. And this record is oh so very dirty. So we're just gonna clean, clean, clean. Yeah, yikes, that's gross. But what else are you gonna expect from a 50-year-old doll? And this Q-tip seems to be wanting to get stuck in one spot. And this record is coming very clean, but if you look closely, you can see all the dirt that's stuck down in there in those grooves. Which I mean is fine, she'll still talk, but it'll just be a little muffled. Okay. And we're just gonna keep doing that until these Q-tips come off nice and clean. And this one's already, there's not much dirt on here. So I think we got this, good majority of this. Nope, maybe not. All right. Yeah, that's very deceiving. Very deceiving little record. And it looks like a lot of that dirt from down in those grooves is coming loose, which is very, very good. All right. And with that, this is pretty much mostly cleaned. And I'm just going to clean this needle off here. Okay. And now we're just going to pull this string a little bit. Hold that string down on the back with your finger. And now we're just going to put the governor on. And again, we're going to put a little grease down there in the bottom. Nope, that's going to stay right up there. Okay. Grease down there. And again, I just, like I said, I use my thumb, or my thumbnail, to reach in and retrieve that needle, or I mean that needle, the O-ring. And then slide this just down right onto there. And put the O-ring up on top of there in that groove. And now, oops. Now I'm just gonna put a little grease on top of the record and the governor. boop, and boop. Just like so. And now we can put this back onto here. Pull the string, get that into place there. And now that should retract as it should. And no growling. All right, let's see how she sounds. Ooh, definitely much quieter than the other one. Definitely much quieter. She's not going to be very loud at all. I could barely hear that, and she said night-night. Go bye-bye. You guys probably can't even hear this. That was high. And go bye-bye again. This record is pretty clean. You can see the reflection very nicely. It's just, I think it's all the dirt that's down there inside those grooves. So it makes it's interfering with the needle. That was her crying. Hi, Mama. Her laughing. Laughing again. Hey, I think she's getting louder. That was Doggy Bow Wow. Night night. Cookie all going. Alright, so let's put her front half on here. And I'm going to put a little bit of grease on her plunger, because there is some old, nasty looking grease on there, as you can see. So we're just going to take that right off of there. And put some new grease on. Some new grease on there. Just like so. Alright, and we'll stick this back in the front. Just like so. Let's grab off our speaker here. Alright, stick this on the front here and see how she sounds. Alright, fingers crossed. See, she's very, very fuzzy. Yeah, so this one is very, very fuzzy, and she is not very loud at all. I don't know about you guys, but I can still understand what she says. So, I'm just gonna put her limbs back on here. Actually, You know what? I'm just going to take the O-ring off of... No, I'm not. I'm just going to leave it. Because I'm going to put the other one on that one. And I'm going to do a little comparison. And I think even though the blonde had this body and the brunette had the other one, I might put the blonde head on the other body because she's a lot louder and she sounds a lot better than this one. And the brunette is in worse shape with the glued on eyelashes. So I might do a little body swap. Let's see how she sounds with her limbs on. Okay, that's a little better. It's still not the greatest. All right. So let's get this O-ring onto her and see how well it does. Because her speaker is cracked and broken to all hell, but she's still much louder than that one. See, that's much louder. That's louder than her with her speaker. And that was Cookie all gone. Alright, so let's get this on here. Alrighty. This off of here. Put this in a little bit. So we can get that O-ring, what I do with it. It's right there. Okay. Alright, and put this O-ring on here. I don't know how loose this is gonna be, but we are going to find out. Alright. Move this, and this, and put this back onto here, like so. Alright. And grab that. Here. Grab the governor, put that back into place. Now, let's put this back together here and see how she sounds. It seems like she's going the right speed, so let's find out. See, that is so loud and so clear. You don't even need the front half of her speaker and you know exactly what she's saying. Fatty knees, fatty knees, fatty knees. Alright, let's put the front half of her on. Let's put her limbs on here. So like I said, even though her speaker is all kinds of damaged and broken and coming off, she is still in better condition and she talks a hell of a lot better than the other one does. see her, you can understand her so very good. And then this one, you can't barely understand at all. Her voice is very fuzzy sounding. And this one here is very nice and clear. But yeah, so there you have it. How to repair your tiny chatties. And this was the brunette, but I think I'm just going to put the blonde on here because she has much better facial coloring. And the voice on this one sounds a lot better. So I'll probably just stick her on there. And then the one in the worse off shape, I'm just going to put the brunette on because she has a lot more issues than the blonde. Her lips were repainted. She has a lazy eye and also lashes that do not belong to her. And yeah. Oh, comments, hi. How do you fix a talkie velvet that pulls a string back in? That I'm not sure. I have a lot of, actually I only have one of those. I make it look so easy. Sometimes it can be, sometimes it's not. Keeps not letting you know. Oh, that I'm live. Do I not have? There's quite a few that I don't have. Do you use 100% alcohol for the black records? No. I use the 91% isopropyl. But yeah, so that is how you repair and or restring your tiny chatties or chatty cathy, chatty babies, tiny chatty babies, singin chatties, your soft body talkers like Miss Beasley, T-Bone, Scooby-Doo, Dr. Doolittle, Bugs Bunny, all those. They pretty much all have the same kind of setup. Super easy. But yeah, so that is about it for this video. Thank you all for tuning in. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to comment, rate, like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification wherever it may be so you know when I go live with more dolly videos. And yeah, I hope you all have a dolly-rific rest of your night, and I will see you guys in the next video. Adios. Do you have to use a different product on the records? Good question. Real quick, on chatties with the black records like you saw in them, you only want to use 91% isopropyl. And then on chatties with colored records like white, orange, yellow, anything like that, you can use 100% acetone or nail polish remover because it does not harm the records. But you do not want to use the 100% on black records because they are made from a different type of vinyl and it will completely melt your records and you will have a doll that no longer talks at all. So I hope that answers your question and I hope you all have a good night and I will see you in the next video. Adios and Merry Christmas.